and welcome to City Hall Ward 7. I am Councilwoman Nikki Nice, and today joining us we have Sergeant Chris Brown with the Oklahoma City Police Department, and we're talking again more about minority recruitment, diversity, and engagement with the Oklahoma City Police Department. And again, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us. And let's give just a little bit of history of the Oklahoma City Police Department. 1889 is when the Oklahoma City Police Department began with Chief Charles Colcord and 4 patrolmen. And right now we're looking at how much it has grown to the largest agency in the state, with over 1,000 commissioned officers and 300 civilian employees. So what made you decide this is the career field for me?
Well, you know, Nikki, there was a multitude of reasons that brought me to this particular career. I have the same, I would call them vanilla reasons that most people do: wanting to serve, wanting to protect, and do things of that nature. That's the foundation of this. But ultimately, one of the other things that brought me to this was the lack of diversity, and that was one of the things that I noticed as a civilian before becoming a police officer, was the limited number of Black, Hispanic, Asian, and female. You know, I didn't see a lot of that, and I'm a firm believer, Nikki, in being the solution to some of these problems or some of these challenges that I saw. So outside again of the basis, helping and serving and wanting to protect, I saw that there was a need for diversity.
Well, I think it's also interesting because your background had nothing to do with the field of serving in this capacity as well.
True. My background comes from health and wellness. And health and wellness is a bit of a servant's position. You're just serving in a different fashion, a different form. But this particular genre, this area here, really spoke loudly to me. You know, when it came to just having the ability to educate others in a different format, as opposed to losing weight and getting in shape, having the ability to educate and talk about what we can do to progress our life, what we can do to stay out of trouble, what we can do to allow others to understand the necessities of just living together and in harmony, hopefully.
Absolutely. Now, when we're looking at the different patrol divisions, we have 4, and I guess you can count Bricktown as a subdivision.
Correct.
But
correct.
We're looking at Hefner, Southwest Santa Fe, and Spring Lake.
Yes.
And where did you originate from?
Hefner, which is going to be northwest, is where I started my patrol career. I started there. I spent a little bit of time on the gang unit for a short amount of time, and then from there brought my way to recruiting, which is where I am now, in the recruiting unit.
All right, when we're looking at even diversity, we're understanding, we go back to the 1920s. I think a lot of people don't realize how integrated the Oklahoma City Police Department was at that time. And I think that kind of set precedents for different departments as well. And by the war years, we had Black detectives that were included in the ranks. And even moving forward, most recently, you know, when we go to the 1970s, 72, we had 5 women that were hired, becoming the first women to complete training and carry a gun. And then we go to now Assistant City Manager, who was the first Black Chief of Police, M.T. Berry, from 98 to 2003, and our Captain Butler, who was the first Black female captain in 2011. You know, we still have a lot of strides when it comes to overcoming some of those diversity within the Oklahoma City Police Department. We
do. And although we have a long way to go and a lot more evolution to come, we have been somewhat of a pioneer and trailblazed in some areas. When you mention the 70s and the first Black female police officers and wonderful Captain Butler, trailblazing in a lot of ways. And I think that if I can speak for Vashina a little bit, I'm sure and I'm certain she's aware of the shoulders that she's standing up on, and the weight that she carries by being the sole female Black captain on our department. Not only is that a lot of weight, but it's also inspiring. And it leads me to believe that there's a lot of opportunity. A lot of opportunity for minorities, whether it be gender or race,
Right.
to proceed and exceed through the ranks of our police department.
Well, let's talk about some of those opportunities, because even when we look at a lot of the community engagement that the Oklahoma City Police Department is involved in, we're looking at the PAL and the FAC program. So why is it so important for the police department to be engaged on that community level in order to have the recruitment that we need?
Well, let me speak to that specifically to the Black community. I'm a firm believer, Nikki, that when we see something and it's more readily available, we're able to touch it and to hear it and to have that tangible feel of it, we see that as an opportunity. If we don't see it, maybe we don't see it as something that we can strive to have happen. So the more times that we see police officers in the Black community, and the more Black kids see white police officers, Black police officers specifically, then they may think that maybe that's something that I can do. I can do that too, because I see these Black police officers there, and then I strive for that. Not only that, Nikki, does it gives us some maybe these children some inspiration, but I think it's also a mending piece. You know, we see there's tension in the minority community with police oftentimes, and I think when these communities are able to see these officers in a non-law enforcement capacity, it gives them the ability to have some general relationships and some general rapport that's being naturally built. And I think that's beneficial, such as the PAL and the FAC program that offer that type of bridge between the community and the police department.
And I know there are many other programs that the Oklahoma City Police Department is engaged in, but one other one that comes to mind is the Citizens Police Academy. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
The Citizens Police Academy, I think, is really one of those programs that can be considered the foundation of our department when it comes to giving citizens an opportunity to learn more and see more of what police officers do. It gives them really, Nikki, an inside look to the department. It gives them an opportunity to see different units come out and talk about what they do, how they do it, why they do it. It gives the citizens an opportunity to go out to the pistol range, and the department puts on a myriad of shows for them. The TAC team comes out, the bomb unit comes out and shows different things. But then you also get the investigation unit comes in and spends some time with these citizens. I believe this is a 12-week program. Runs 12 weeks, generally on Tuesday nights from about 6 to 9, once a week. And through that 12 weeks, these citizens, again, have an opportunity to get a real inside look to the department.
So they can just right now call to be a part of the program?
They can call, they can go online. I mean, there's multiple avenues with which they can get that information to apply.
Awesome. And we're talking about community policing. Obviously, it's, as you were talking before, it's important for the community to see those that reflect the community that they live in, or that's being served from the officers. So it's a twofold in that. But we're also looking at the North Highland Safe Grant Program, which is something that has been implemented on the northeast side of Oklahoma City. We've had one area already, but now this is new for North Highland.
Yes, and that Safe Grant Program offers the ability for officers to come in, work some overtime, and to specifically patrol these areas that commonly have a high call volume of violent crime. The thought process behind the Safe Grant Program is to, by increasing the number of officers in these specific areas, the thought is to maybe mitigate some of the violent crimes that are happening. It gives the residents in a particular area an opportunity to see more police activity in those areas, which again, hopefully in turn, is going to lessen the amount of violent crime taking place in some of these areas.
All right. Well, let's talk about the recruitment process. I know there's a process to everything. Yes. So what does one have to look forward to as far as from beginning to actual ending of that recruitment class of being a police police officer?
Well, the entire process in itself can be a bit arduous. And reasonably so. You're about to give someone a badge and a gun and a car. You want to make sure the vetting process is done thoroughly. It takes anywhere from 2 to 6 months to get through the entire process. Step number one is turning an application. You fill out an application online. You'll receive an email in return advising on what your next steps are going to be. You go through a myriad of steps from that point there, from filling out your own personal history, having a background investigator do their due diligence through your background to make sure that this person is who they say they are and doing what they say they're doing. From there, we go through a polygraph, another myriad of tests. From this point here, you exit into the actual academy. Now, the academy is approximately 7 months long, about 28 weeks, yes. And in that 7 months, this particular recruit is going to receive anywhere from 11 to 1,150 hours of college course credit hours that they're going to get. So they get a lot of training, not just over how to handle themselves, but the policy, the procedure, laws, and so forth and so on. Once they've completed the academy, they'll go through about 4 months of riding with a field training officer. So they're riding with a veteran officer for the next 4 months. And in that time, they're taking the things they've learned in the academy in that sterile environment, and now they're trying to apply that to real life instances. But they still got some supervision. Once that 4 months is complete, they'll ride by themselves as a solo recruit for the next 6 months. Again, taking some of that information, and now they're kind of segueing into being a solo officer. After that 6 months are complete, they'll come back and they're blessed to be an officer, and then they're out protecting and serving.
Well, I must say I enjoyed my first graduation in December of this latest recruitment class, and it was just awesome to see the diversity. Well, I know we had one African-American gentleman, and we obviously had quite a few women in that recruit class as well. So just to see the families so excited about their future officer that obviously is about to patrol their communities in their area. Now you have a February 23rd hiring event for more officers. What can we look forward to for that?
Well, that February 23rd event is actually, the department's being very intentional and very deliberate on its attempt to increase the diversity. That February 23rd event is an African-American specific hiring event where we are really going out and really attempting to get more African-Americans educated on the process and then to understand the benefits that come along with being a police officer. So the department, I really give kudos to our department and our chief, who has recognized that we have a limited number of diverse individuals. And now, again, our department's being very unapologetic and intentional about hiring diversity. So that one's going to be specific to that. It's going to be hosted at the Police and Fire Training Center, which is 800 North Portland Avenue. It'll take place at 9 a.m. sharp on that Saturday, the 23rd, and it'll run till about noon. And during that time, again, the conversation will be really wrapped around what it's going to take to become a police officer from start to finish. And we're going to spend some quality time addressing some of the issues that maybe some of the applicants may have or concerns, maybe even dispelling some of the myths and making sure, again, they can make an educated decision on what they want to do moving forward.
All right, well, just a couple minutes remaining. Can we have more information for those who may be interested in any of the Academy, the PAL, the FACT, or just more information about the Oklahoma City Police Department?
If they have questions, if we have individuals that have questions, they can always call 297-1116, 297-1116. That is our recruiting unit. And at that particular phone number, that location, we'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that come in, whether it be about hiring, whether it be about the various programs that our police department offers. We'll be able to get you in contact with those individuals that can help you specifically with those questions. All
right, well, we appreciate you, Sergeant Brown, for talking with us. And if you want more information, you can head on over to our website as well. It is okc.gov, and just look for the Oklahoma City Police Department for more information. That's going to do it for City Hall, Ward 7. I'm your Councilwoman, Nikki Nice.